Sometimes I wonder if I'm really remembering that day or just remembering the photos I shot. It's true for the Marines who were there as well. The pictures prompt memories or replace them. In any case, they help us organize our thoughts about a day of chaos in Afghanistan. We were in Zaranj, out by Iran. It's a pretty peaceful place where commerce flows across the border and children wave in the streets. The U.S. has no permanent presence in Zaranj, so when the Marines and American officials visit, they drive around in Afghan police pickup trucks, which aren't armored. On Saturday, April 28th, we were in a convoy of 4 such trucks driving along a street busy with shoppers. I was sitting in the bed of the first pickup truck, facing backwards. None of us spotted the suicide bomber. He was pushing a cart full of explosives and ball bearings, and he shoved it toward the second pickup truck in line. The explosion generated a column of smoke which shrouded the scene. As the smoke lifted, we could see the destruction the bomb had caused. The explosion had heaved the second truck into the air and onto the median strip. 3 U.S. troops were in the back. Major Andrew Kingsbury suffered perforated eardrums and a serious concussion. He was desperate to find his radio man, Sergeant Caleb Rauscher. Sergeant Rauscher was tossed from the truck and landed in a heap. He had shrapnel wounds in his side and lesions on his head. Doc Benny Flores, the Navy medical corpsman, suffered burns on his neck and fragment wounds on his arms. Major Kingsbury and Doc Flores ignored their own injuries. They tended to Sergeant Rauscher, who was unable to stand. Major Kingsbury and Captain Jason Bowers tried to bend the median fence back so they could get to Master Sergeant Scott Pruitt, who was gravely wounded and imprisoned in the damaged vehicle. That's when the ambush began. Taliban gunmen opened fire from 3 buildings. Police and Marines fired back. This is Captain Julie Hartshorn taking aim. Lieutenant Gabe Skanga tried to drag Sergeant Rauscher to safety, but he was too heavy. I helped tug the sergeant toward the road's edge, but it was slow progress. Then Major Kingsbury pitched in, and they moved the sergeant to the dirt sidewalk. Sergeant Rauscher stood briefly before collapsing into a motorcycle part shop. The shrapnel had penetrated his side, but his head injuries appeared the worst. He couldn't recall what had happened or remember the answer when told. The ambush was over about 18 minutes after the bombing. Doc Flores and Sergeant Rauscher climbed into a pickup truck, which took them to the city hospital. 4 Afghan civilians had been injured too, 3 of them children. 1 man died. 38-year-old Master Sergeant Scott Pruitt was a Marine accountant with 2 young daughters, a fiancé, and plans to retire to a more peaceful life. Everywhere he went in Afghanistan, Master Sergeant Pruitt carried candy and other treats for the children. But Doc Flores and Captain Hartshorn could do nothing to save him. He bled to death in the front passenger seat. For the Wall Street Journal, this is Michael M. Phillips in Zaranj, Afghanistan.